to the newly revamped Library Marketing Show. I'm your host, Angela Hirsch, the writer and curator of the blog superlibrarymarketing.com, where you can find all kinds of information about library marketing for all kinds of libraries. We're revamping the format of the show. We used to do it live on Instagram, and now I'm pre-recording it and posting it here on YouTube. So I'd love your feedback and comments after you've watched. Make sure you leave the comments in the comment section of the video. Also, like, share, subscribe, as the kids say. And be sure to go to superlibrarymarketing.com and check out everything that we have to offer there. We have 3 sections to our show today: library news, a deep dive into a reader question, and finally, kudos. So let's get started. First, library news. There's a thing that's happening in the library world, and I'm sure that you've talked about it at your library, particularly if you work in the public library sector, and that is the decision by 4 major publishers to change the lending models for eBooks and eAudiobooks and make it more difficult for us to buy eBooks and eAudiobooks and offer them to our cardholders. I don't need to tell you all the details because I'm sure you're familiar with it, and I don't know what your library is doing, and I don't know how you feel about those things, about this particular change in policy. I, for one, am super angry. My library is getting ready to send out an email today to inform our cardholders about the changes and how it will affect them, how it means that they're going to have to wait longer for their holds, and that we're not going to be able to give them access to new books until like basically 4 months after they've been released, which is just baloney. Am I allowed to cuss on this video? I think I am going to. It's bullshit, guys. My frustration is that we really don't, as an industry, we don't have a call to action yet for our cardholders. I would love for us to curate a place where people could write in and let the publishers know what this decision is going to do to them. I don't think that the publishers realize the amount of underprivileged readers that we have helped with ebooks and eAudiobooks. I don't think that they really realize the fact that ebooks and eAudiobooks exist has not affected print sales. It's actually expanded the number of people who can get access to books and who can read books. It's expanded the audience for their authors. I think it's a mistake for publishers, and I would love for libraries to stand up and tell them that. We just don't have a good way to do that yet because we have so many libraries in the US and because we have 4 publishers. So we need just like one place to curate a bunch of emails that we can send to those publishers. So if someone out there has an idea or suggestion for a call to action or how we can get our communities involved to talk publishers out of this, I am all ears. What is your library doing? Are you communicating this change in policy to your cardholders? It's going to affect the way we market. You know, I'm a big fan of collection marketing, and this is going to mean that I'm not going to be able to send as many emails to my cardholders and let them know about new books, new ebooks, and new eAudiobooks in the collection because we're only going to have one title or no titles for 4 months after a book is released. My library is pretty big. We're a big system. We serve an entire county. We have like 600,000 plus cardholders. So one ebook title for 600,000 cardholders, I cannot even imagine how long the holds list is going to be. It's just frustrating. And I want to do something about it besides send an informational email to my cardholders. So if your library is doing something, please let me know in the comments, or you can send me an email through superlibrarymarketing.com. Just click on the contact tab. Okay, enough ranting. Let's get to something fun. I do have a reader email, a question that was submitted through superlibrarymarketing.com. And this comes from Babette, who works at the Licking County Library, and she writes to me, I need ideas for email blasts, Instagram posts, and how to help your traditional staff understand and embrace new ways to market. They are so disappointed that we are not doing tons of paper flyers, promoting every program on Facebook, press releases not being in the newspaper, etc. Staff struggling with the change. Sigh. Thank you for writing in, Babette. I am totally with you. And those are actually like a couple of different things that I have thoughts on. So I might not be able to get through all of them. I may have to do some of this in the post on the blog. But here's the thing. If your staff is struggling with the move, in particular from print to digital, this is how I have couched it to the staff here at my library. It's not that we're doing less marketing. The number of print pieces that you create does not make, reducing that number does not mean that you're doing less marketing. It means you're doing more marketing on a different platform. We know that our cardholders are living in the digital world. And if we can promote through digital promotions, through email, through Instagram, if we can move some of our energy that we've been using to create bookmarks and flyers and posters to create marketing for those digital platforms, we're going to expand our audience. We're going to be reaching our current audience in the place where they are, because we know that they are on social media, that they're checking their email, that they're on Facebook. We know all that stuff. We want to make sure that we touch them in those spaces. There's a great statistic that people in the profit marketing world talk about, and that is that we have to do at least 7 touches of our customers every time we promote something for them to finally convert, which for us is going to mean get them to come to an event or to check out a book or to log on and use one of our digital resources or to come into our building. 7 times. You got to give them a message 7 times. That means in 7 different places. So yes, we should still do posters when that's relevant, but we should also promote on Facebook, and we should promote on Instagram if that's where the audience is, and we should do email, and we sometimes can send out a press release. Let's talk about press releases not getting in the newspaper. The world of the media has changed. I used to work in TV news, and if it doesn't bleed, it doesn't lead thing that you've heard people say is absolutely true. I used to work on the assignment desk. People would call in with good news stories that I would have loved to cover, but I knew unless somebody was dying at that particular event, unless someone was getting shot, my newsroom was never going to send a crew to that event. Now, one of the great things about the expansion of social media and news stations having to be on social media is that we actually have more opportunities to get our good news, our good library news coverage in the media. But there's still a problem. The size of newsrooms are shrinking, and they're relying on us more and more to write the stories and to create the stories. They don't have reporters to send out to shoot, edit, or cover stories. So my suggestions for getting better press coverage are to actually stop doing press releases. Instead, you can write a base press release and then send it to each media outlet in a personalized manner. So you're going to look at what the audience is for that particular publication or station, and you're going to rewrite sections of that press release so that it applies to their audience and show that particular news station and that outlet how your story applies to their audience. It's going to increase your chances of getting better news coverage. The other thing is we can't always rely on the news media to promote us. We have to promote ourselves. I am a huge advocate of having a customer-facing blog on your website because it can basically be a news feed for your library. You get to control the narrative. You get to write the stories. You get to control the graphics. You get to control the angle. You get to put the sound bites or the any of the quotes in the articles, and you get to control the distribution of that article. So if your staff is worried about press releases not being in newspapers, and you can have a customer-facing blog, that's a way to couch that, to let them know that you're still getting coverage. You're just controlling it. The other thing that you might want to mention to your staff is that the number of people in the public who are reading newspapers has declined precipitously over the past 10 years. I no longer worry if my story is not in the local newspaper because I know the audience is pretty small. I would prefer for my story to be somewhere in the digital realm where I can help to promote it, like if a radio station has an interview with someone from my library and then post that on their website, and I'm able to reshare that post on our social media channels. That's much better coverage than an article in a newspaper. You also have to remember that the audience that you may be wanting to target for your particular piece of library news may not be newspaper readers. I don't think my teenagers have ever picked up a newspaper in their life. And I know a lot of the stuff that my library does, a lot of the services that we provide, are targeted at my teenage daughters. So a newspaper is not really a place where I'm going to want to promote those things. I hope that makes sense. I love digital promotion. I know staff can be resistant to it. I've fought for years and years the battle of Poster-Flyer-Bookmark. And so I hope some of this advice helps you, Babette. You can find more of this advice on superlibrarymarketing.com. And I'll be sure to try to think about writing a new blog post about it, maybe about this particular question. So thank you for writing in, Babette. If you have a question that you want or a topic you want to discuss on the show, you can do so. Just go to superlibrarymarketing.com and click on the Library Marketing Show tab at the top of the page. Okay, final thing is kudos. I put up a tweet yesterday from my personal account about the amount of candy I consumed yesterday because it was a pretty stressful day. And my friends at the Jefferson County Public Library had the most wonderful response to that. It was just hilarious. They posted, hey, we have 4 copies of this book about willpower. You might want to check it out. You're welcome. And I just thought that was hilarious and very clever. So I wanted to give them kudos. Thanks for responding to that. I will put a copy of the tweet on the blog post that accompanies this video on superlibrarymarketing.com. That's all I have for this week. Again, comment in the comment section of the video. Send ideas through superlibrarymarketing.com. You can also register for events where I'm going to be speaking coming up on superlibrarymarketing.com. There's an events tab. I'm going to be adding some new stuff in the next couple of weeks, so keep an eye on it. Thank you for joining me.